Hey, family, this is Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. This is the show where we talk about leadership according to the world that matters to you. I wanted to stop by for a quick moment and talk about the idea of piloting a concept, piloting something that you want to launch. Now, we've been on this journey in 2019 talking about launching a special venture, a project, a nonprofit, a ministry that that's been on your heart. And this year's podcast have been focused on how to get those things launched. If you remember, one of my earlier podcasts of this year was Getting to Sunday. Getting to Sunday was kind of this internal story about me getting to a specific Sunday to launch this new location of our church. And that was really important for me on our journey. And so I shared that story with you, how important it is to get to Sunday, get to the day that you're targeting to launch your specific business, ministry, nonprofit, project, etc. Or even if it's just crossing the finish line of a special task or to-do item that you've been focused on for years. Now, one of the things that I want to encourage you to do as you start to move towards that journey, if you haven't done so already, is to take a moment and consider piloting what you're trying to launch. Now, when you're launching, you have these big, grandiose perspectives of what you want to see happen and what you believe is going to happen. And then you start to work on it and you realize, you know what? No, this is not going to work the way I intended it to work. And so I need to either rework this thing or I'm going to quit. And oftentimes, many of us quit before we take the time to rework and rethink the work that we're engaged in. And I want to teach you something about how to really launch in a safe way. Now, we are in the age where it is expected and anticipated that we do something called rapid prototyping. That means you're going to test your idea in the marketplace to get an immediate reaction to determine if it's safe for you to launch this thing full scale, or you need to pull back, rework this thing, or to consider a whole new idea altogether. The reason why rapid prototyping is essential for your launching your business is because if you decide to rapidly prototype a concept, an idea, a product, or a service, you are simultaneously launching your business or your project or your ministry or your nonprofit at the same time. Rapid prototyping says instead of going through multiple years of testing and developing this product to make sure it's perfect, I'm going to develop something that I have and I'm going to get it to market as fast as I can. This means that what I have may not be perfect, but the best way to perfect a product is not to do it in a vacuum, but to do it in the open market to see how people respond to my product, project, or service. The faster you're able to get customer feedback, the faster you're able to tweak it and perfect it, improve it, and get it back on the market to be sold and to get even greater feedback. And you can continue to iteratively improve the product over time. If you look at your favorite cell phone, you look at your favorite laptop, tablet, etc., even your favorite sneaker, clothing, it is an iterative improvement of the product over time. It is never a perfect product. It's a perfect product for the moment, but you better believe that the creators of those products are working on the next best version of what they sold you, because they know there's improvement to be made and that they know the customer is going to demand improvements as things and time change. If you are a consumer and you know these things, then you need to think about this when you're launching your special project, your joint venture, your special venture, your nonprofit, your ministry, etc. Pilot this bad boy and just put it out there for a reaction and response. Now, as you put it out there for a response, you do have to market, you do have to sell, you do have to let people know you exist. You can't just put it out there and sit there and wait for people to find it. You have to help people find what you are selling. Okay, this is where marketing comes into play. You have to actively sell, market, brand, and position what you are making available to community, because you know that what you have available is a necessity for your community. Therefore, you have to help them learn about it. You have to make them aware of it. So this is part of your job as well. But I don't want to lose sight of the conversation talking about marketing, but I really want you to start thinking about the idea of piloting your work. Now, if you're thinking about piloting a new nonprofit and you believe that you're plugging a hole and you're filling in a need that is desperately needed in your community, one of the coolest ways to pilot a project is to partner your work, your vision, your contribution of innovation to the marketplace to partner with an existing nonprofit who either is doing something in the space or the industry or the marketplace or the customer base you're targeting, or introduce your work to a nonprofit who isn't doing anything close to what you're doing, but could stand to benefit from what you have to offer. Either way, there are pros and cons. You need to weigh them and figure out which one works for you. But what you're trying to do more than anything else is not outthink yourself and sit on the sidelines. You're trying to get to the place where you are piloting something sooner rather than later. You want to get feedback now as opposed to waiting years and years and years, perfecting and toiling and working on this, and then putting it out and getting a lackluster performance, realizing you wasted thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, hours wasted, years wasted of your life gone, right? This is the benefit of prototyping, rapidly prototyping something and getting it out in the marketplace. You want to be able to get that reaction. You want to be able to get feedback. You want to figure out where the partnerships exist for you to win. That's where we're trying to get to at this point in time. We're trying to figure out how to get you to a place where you can figure out if you can win in this marketplace or not. Now, you may discover a lesson here that even if it's not successful, maybe this venture is not successful for me. Maybe this idea is not successful for me. Maybe this industry, this customer base is not successful for me. And now, if you decide to pull back and avoid moving forward, you have some substantive feedback and data to support your decision. Often we quit without feedback and accurate data. We quit because we gave up too soon. We quit because we didn't get enough sales, even though it was our fault and we didn't market and sell it. Now, when you start to prototype and you sell, market, and brand your product and get a reaction, you can make a decision based upon data. You may decide, I want to move forward. It's based upon data. I want to quit based upon data. I want to make adjustments based upon data. You want to learn from the rapid prototyping experience because it's going to make a difference. Listen, if you are on this journey, leave me a comment, okay? Leave me some feedback. Let me know how you're making out on your journey to rapidly prototyping your new idea, your new vision, your new project, your new ministry, your new nonprofit. I want to know how you're doing. You can leave me a comment on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and on your favorite podcasting platform. And not only you, share this with people you care about, people you know who are working on a special project. Share it with them. Ask them to kind of listen and see if they have any thoughts about this, to see if they have any contributions on this, to determine whether they're moving on the right path or not. Maybe you have a friend who's been working on a project for years and they've been trying to figure out what to do next. Maybe this is the podcast to help them figure out what next. Now what? Because the longer you wait to get this thing out in the market, the longer you wait to learn if it can be a success or not. Go ahead and rapidly prototype this thing and figure out if it's a winner or a dud. Either way, you learn something cool from it. And it can help you along your journey. This is Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. Hope you find this helpful. We'll see you in the next show. Peace.